Well, good morning everyone. I've got my coffee. I was too tired last night to record this, so I'm doing it in the morning for a change. That's good. Alright, so I've been meaning to get this tackle talk out for a while, and I've been struggling to find time to do it just because life and fishing is ramping up. So I've got several baits to run down and several baits that I'd like to talk about. And then, I think that these things need some airtime, and these people are doing some amazing work, so I wanted to get them in front of the camera before things get really, really crazy. And we've got, Brian and Ben coming down, and Taylor coming down with Dono, and I've got a couple of guide dates that I've got to take care of, and yeah, anyway, the spring will be nuts, but it will be a ton of fun. With that all said, let's just dive right in. First thing, this is courtesy of my buddy KV from the Wisconsin Muskie Expo. This is a Tom's Glide. He grabbed me one and sent it to me. I was told that everyone needs one of these Tom's Glides, so I got one because I was told to get one. I'm not a big glide guy, but I've heard really good things about these and that they do some amazing work. So really cool pattern, little I think this is the 5.5 incher, and I think I got the deeper version of it, but we'll see what it does. Like I said, I'm not a huge glide guy, but if someone tells me that I need to have one of those, I should probably get it. Speaking of glides, we're gonna move on to some Mark Taylor Customs. Mark was kind enough to send me a couple of glides to try out this season. As you can tell, I'm trying to figure out what hooks will be best on that guy. I like my owners and my VMCs, so no offense to those hooks, but I'm gonna try and figure out what I like best. So I'm trying to figure out what I want on that, but that's neither here nor there. Really cool glide, really neat holographic eye there. I didn't even notice that before until I got it in front of the camera, but should be a perfect little 5-inch kind of shad, kind of Cisco-y pattern. So I have to apologize to Mark if I don't quite know if these have specific names or not, but again, that's kind of the 5-inch glide. Really cool profile, really cool color. Mark was kind enough to send me a larger glide as well. This is kind of a 6.5, 7-inch glide model. Another really cool one, kind of shad color with some lighter blues in there. Yeah, just a really cool bait. Put the owners on this guy because I like my owners, but a really cool glide that should do some serious work in some of that stained-ish water. Especially this season, it seems like our water has been more stained this year for whatever reason, and I don't really know as to why that's the case. But I think that pearl will be really cool, that pearly white, and just really excited to get this thing in the water and use it, especially for, when I might throw a bigger glide, which isn't all that often, but it's nice to have those tools in the arsenal. Alright, next on the list, we've got a kind of a new guy, a new up-and-comer in the spinnerbait game. This would be Benjamin Duke. He makes some really cool spinnerbaits, and I've been fortunate enough to pick a couple up from him, win a couple from him, but these are really neat spinnerbaits. These are just, they're meant more for trolling, I think, than they are for casting. I'm sure you can cast them too. That's why I got these. I think he calls these the D8s. So the D8s, he calls it that because you've got the 8 size Colorado, and he makes them all the way up to a 12. The spinnerbaits themselves are built really well and built really beefy. It's wanting to pick up my eyeball, but if you can see, he's got these really quality components on there. The wire, I don't know what thickness it is, but it's pretty darn thick. So they're meant to hold up to the rigors of the biggest fish. Another thing that I really like about his stuff too is all of the details are accounted for. He's shrink wrapping these to preserve the skirts. These are VMC hooks, so he's putting quality components on there. Or maybe these are mustads. I'm not sure, but they look good. They look like they would hold up, and it wouldn't make any sense to have this really thick wire and not have hooks that would hold up. So anyway, my point being is I appreciate the quality components that people put on their lures. Yeah, this one's got VMCs. Yeah. Anyway, I appreciate that Duke does that one. I appreciate that Duke puts those quality components on there. So this is another pattern. I'll just show a couple of his different patterns. I kind of like this one. It's kind of like a crappie slash bluegill slash largemouth bass. I mean, it could be really anything. That greenish, that iridescent green or emerald, and then the brown in there is really cool. It's just a really cool bait. Again, the quality components, I cannot emphasize enough how much I appreciate that. I would rather pay $5 to $7 more for a lure, knowing that it's got the good stuff on it, and not have to switch it out myself. And I know that it's not always easy for bait makers to do those things when they're buying components in bulk to put on their stuff. So anyway, here's another one from Benjamin Duke. This is a willow model and of the D8. So just something a little different, kind of Cisco-y, electric Cisco. You know, and the other thing too is his skirts, like the profile of the bait itself is pretty big. So if you're into big profile stuff, like a lot of these I see being utilized in Minnesota or those types of waters for some bigger fish, and they get deep. They're really heavy baits. I think that those ones, I want to say that they weigh 2.5 ounces, and then as it scales up they progressively weigh more and more. Here's probably the one that I'm most excited about. I have a blade with no name in a similar color that I absolutely crushed with last fall, but kind of a lemon drop, lemon head type color with some pearl iridescent in that skirt. You just can't beat it. It's trying to focus on my eyes behind the blade. So anyway, just a really cool spinnerbait. I'm really excited to throw these in certain situations this year. It's not really cooperating with me as I'm trying to show it to the camera, but you guys get the idea. Just a really cool bait. You know, and the thing is if you want anything in particular, you can just message him at Duke's Dozers, and he'll craft you whatever you desire. I'm pretty sure. I know Connor saw his spinnerbaits and had some particular things in mind for some of the bodies of water that he fishes, and messaged Ben, and you know, Ben was able to accommodate those things. Last but certainly not least on the list, we've got the BAM Baits Bowfin JR. I've been meaning to get these on for quite some time. You guys saw Brian's video. He recently featured them. I've been featuring the bowfins a ton this winter, the standard size, but this is the first time I've been able to get the juniors on there. And truth be told, I've got one of the juniors on my rod right now. Again, props to Brady for including quality components, quality hooks, so that I don't have to worry about it. The only thing is I may change out the front one to a owner, because sometimes, for whatever reason, I think it's probably because I use the Pandemonium leader, it kind of gets caught on the top a little bit from time to time, or maybe it's because I'm, you know, popping it too much. I don't really know, but that's a pretty easy fix for me. But anyway, the juniors are fantastic. They have a lot of dance. They've got side to side. They do a lot of unpredictable things in the water, which I really like when it comes to musky fishing, because I feel like when those fish can't predict what's going on, they are more likely to eat that lure. The last one that I'm probably most excited about from Brady is the Cotton Candy Bowfin JR. I don't know if you guys have followed his page, but people have been putting some serious fish in the boat on this thing, and it just looks so cool. The iridescent with the pink, it looks fantastic. I cannot wait to get this thing in the water in some cloudier water situations, or in some northern water situations, because the wives' tale always is that tigers like pink, and that has proven true more times for me, or Callie, than I would be able to ignore. So we're definitely going to get this thing wet. We're definitely going to utilize this in the spring and in the summer situations. I cannot wait to chuck this thing around. All right, well, that kind of wraps up that tackle talk. I really appreciate all of you tuning in. I appreciate the feedback on the tackle talks. It makes it much easier for me to justify doing the tackle talks and spending the time, because a lot of people really enjoy them and I enjoy doing them. But as the winter ends and spring begins, it's going to be harder and harder to find time. So thank you to all the guys that I work with, and thank you to all of those who send me lures and, you know, for me to try out. The unfortunate reality of having all of these wonderful tools to work with is I can only use one at a time. But at the same time, I will try and do my very best to get them all wet throughout the year. Anyway, that's all I've got for you today. Thank you for watching. If you'd be so kind, consider subscribing, and I'll catch you in the next one.